It's good to be back. And I've always seen that, the participants with TAARE Social have been very receptive and, very open to learning new things. So I think that is a very good thing. And today, the subject which we are going to talk about, can I see you or can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see me. Very clear. Very clear.
Okay, because I cannot.
You cannot see us.
Yes. Okay, so the subject that has been given to me today, it is very vast, and I am going to cover basically two aspects. There are a lot of subjects which are surrounding or related to dementia, maybe which we can cover or talk about in the consequent sessions. So today, we can try and understand what is dementia, and brain gym exercises in order to look after our brain health. So I'm going to be talking about these two topics mainly. And also, it is very important to understand, what is cognitive impairment, which I will, deal in another session at another time. So what is cognitive impairment? What is Alzheimer's? I will cover today. But what is cognitive impairment? When is memory loss a problem? When should you go to a doctor? So which I will cover in the sessions later. But today, let us understand what is dementia, what are the symptoms, and some basics regarding dementia. And then also, it is very important to exercise our brains as we do our bodies. So that is something, there are some exercises which are there called brain gym exercises, which I had taken long back. I think there was a different group at that time. So I will be taking that as well. Okay, so let us try and see what is dementia. I am sure all of you have heard of it, and all of you might be knowing quite a lot about it also. So dementia, as you know, it's a general term covering many diseases which affect the brain. So something which has to do with, impaired memory, loss of thinking, remembering, reasoning. There is loss of judgment. Okay, so which is severe enough. This is something that we need to understand. When it comes to dementia, what is important is that it is severe enough to interfere with person's daily functioning, which also means that a person will not be able to manage living on his own. Will have to take help or will have to take support of other people, for his own existence. Okay, so that is something that is very necessary to understand, that living alone becomes a problem, and a person is not able to manage activities of daily living, as in cooking or maybe, going outside, doing shopping. So personal things which we do on a day-to-day basis, managing one's own affairs becomes a huge problem in dementia. And that is something that we need to understand. Now, Alzheimer's and dementia. Now, this is something that people use interchangeably. And that is something that we need to understand. What is Alzheimer's? What is dementia? Are they the same? Okay, तो ये हमको जानना पड़ेगा कि Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. And we know about Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is more spoken about, more talked about. Why? Because around 70 to 80% of the people suffer from Alzheimer's. People with dementia, most of the people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And that is why Alzheimer's is much more known. Okay, so but it is a type of dementia. That is something that we need to understand. Okay, so dementia has been there for 100 of years, but it has been mostly misunderstood. And also another important point which we need to keep in mind is it is not a normal part of aging. It is not a normal part of getting old. And there are certain tests which can be done. You need to go to the doctor, certain scans and whatever need to be done. So that is something that we will, see in our next sessions. But this is something that we need to know, that it is not a normal part of aging. Okay, so in 2023, statistics say that approximately 8.8 million people have dementia. Okay, and the number is constantly increasing. And it is also predicted that by 2025, 75% of the world's dementia population will lie in the developing countries alone. And one of the major problems is not much is known about the disease. There is very less awareness about the disease. And that is why we need to make an effort to know about it. Okay, so most common in older adults, but can affect younger people also in their 40s and 50s, which is called the younger onset dementia. Okay. Okay, so as I said, Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. So we will see, what the symptoms are. So there is another, this called vascular dementia. So vascular dementia is basically caused by conditions that damage the blood vessels in the brain or interrupt the blood flow of the blood and oxygen to the brain. So that is another type of dementia. There is a third type of dementia, which is called the frontotemporal dementia. Now, why is it called frontotemporal dementia? Because it affects the frontal lobe and the temporal lobe. Okay, so this is another uncommon form of dementia, which is quite severe. So there are, major changes in behavior, thinking. So that is another kind of dementia. And the type of dementia which is which affects a
Hello,
lot of
I would
people.
like to know what is frontal dementia, temporal dementia.
So this basically starts at a younger age. Okay, and if you want, we can go into the depth later. So this starts at a younger age. Generally, it affects people between the ages of 50 to 60. And as I said, it affects frontal and temporal lobes. So there are major problems with behavior and language, as I said. Okay, so these are basically what we need to understand is these are basically types of dementia. And dementia is an umbrella term, which has to do with, problems in memory, thinking, reasoning, and judgment. Okay, so we will now look into what are the symptoms of dementia. Okay, so memory loss. Okay, so memory loss, forgetting recently learned information is one of the most common early signs of dementia. Okay, so what happens is memory loss where we have kept certain things, ye bhul gaye, wo bhul gaye, that is quite common. But what happens is dementia is, say, suppose you are seeing a film. Okay, you are seeing a film and you forget, maybe who's the actor or maybe you forget the name of the film. So what happens in dementia is that all these things, the name of the actor, the name of the film, all this is forgotten also. But what is mainly forgotten is the fact that I saw the film is also forgotten. And that is something that is like a kind of a red flag. Okay, so recently learned information is forgotten, and this is one of the most common early signs of dementia. So a person begins to forget more and more important things like appointments. If there are certain important appointments that the person has to attend to, so that a person forgets. And the most important thing, as I said, is unable to recall the information later on. With normal people, what happens is that you might forget something, but after some time or maybe after a couple of days, you might recall that information. But with dementia, what happens is the fact that you have done that particular thing or got involved in that particular thing is also lost, and that is a problem. The second symptom is that difficulty performing familiar tasks. So maybe if a lady was cooking earlier, that is something which becomes difficult to do or to complete. Okay, so people with dementia find it hard to plan or complete everyday tasks. They may lose track of steps involved in preparing a meal or placing a telephone call or playing a game. So what we are saying is that certain things which the person used to do, which were very familiar and effortlessly, which a person used to do, that becomes an issue and a person is not able to do that. Third thing, problems with language. Okay, so simple words are forgotten. Okay, so making a speech, a coherent speech, making proper sentences, that is a problem. So they may be unable to find the toothbrush, but what do you call a toothbrush? Or how do we call a toothbrush? That term which is there for a toothbrush is also forgotten. So they will say, instead of that, they will say that thing in my mouth, because I'm not able to remember that it is called a toothbrush. So this becomes a problem. So disorientation. So people with Alzheimer's can become, I'm saying Alzheimer's because this is more common, as I said. They become lost in their own neighborhood, forget where they are and how they got there, and do not know how to get back. So there are cases of people where they used to visit a particular place, they used to go to a particular garden regularly, and they forget how to go back home. Now that becomes a problem. There is disorientation. Then finding one's own way, so that becomes a problem. So there is disorientation to time and place. As I said, there is poor or decreased judgment. Okay, so they may dress inappropriately, they might wear several layers on a warm day, or they might wear little clothing in the cold. So also we have heard of a lot of people who give away large sums of money. There is online, maybe people are kind of taken advantage of, and they give away large sums of money to telemarketers. Now that is poor judgment. Okay, so that also happens. That is also one of the symptoms of dementia. Abstract thinking is also a problem. So complex mental tasks. Okay, so numbers, how do you calculate? How do you do additions, subtractions, multiplications? So all this also becomes a problem. So misplacing things. Okay, so person with Alzheimer's may put things in unusual places. So an iron in the freezer. Okay, because I don't know an iron in the freezer, because I don't know what is the utility of an iron. So मुझे पता नहीं चलता है कि ये जो इस्त्री है, where does it need to be kept? Okay, so I might put it in the freezer, or I just might put it outside because I don't know what it is used for. Okay, so misplacing things. Okay, keeping things in the wrong places because I don't know what they are used for. So changes in mood or behavior. So someone with Alzheimer's, they may show rapid mood swings. So at one time they might be laughing, at one time they might be extremely sad, calm to tears to anger for no apparent reason. They might just start laughing suddenly. Okay. So all these are symptoms of dementia. There are changes of in personality. So there are changes which are dramatic, in the sense that a person who might be talking a lot might stop talking totally. Okay, so they may become very suspicious, they may become very fearful, they may become totally dependent on a family member, which was not the case earlier. Okay, so these are certain changes in personality which need to be kind of looked into, or something that we need to be alert about. And loss of initiative. Okay, so they might be very passive. They might become very passive, sitting in front of the TV for hours, sleeping more than usual, and not wanting to do, not taking interest in things that earlier they were taking interest in. Okay, so these are the common symptoms of dementia. And also we need to get into the exercises. I don't think we'll get too much time, but I'll tell you 2-3 exercises, and we will get into certain tests which are done. And also, there are certain warning signs of Alzheimer's disease, and plus, what are things which are not normal in aging, which I'll cover in the subsequent sessions. Okay, so now we come to brain gym exercises. Okay, so as I was saying, that it is very necessary to exercise our brains, our minds. Okay, so we generally give a lot of importance to physical exercise, but mental exercise, as I think you do in TAARE Social, is also very, very important. So what we are saying, why do we need to exercise our brains? So there needs to be meaningful mental effort and stimulation on a regular basis. Okay, so something to exercise our brain, something new, getting out of your comfort zone is very, very important. Okay, so trying out new things is very, very important. Why is that important? Because that will help in strengthening our memory, and it also helps in postponing or delaying cognitive decline. Okay, so it is very, very important to exercise our brains. And these are certain exercises which were developed uh, in 1960s called brain gym. Okay, so gym is basically associated with physical exercise. So in brain gym, what we are doing is we are exercising our bodies and our brains at the same time. Okay, so these are a series of movements done with the intention to wake up the brain and stimulate brain function. Okay, and it is designed to strengthen the relationship between the body and the mind. Okay, so generally what happens is we either do physical exercises like yoga or any other exercise which you do, and then maybe we do exercises or maybe some activities like doing puzzles or whatever. But what brain gym is saying is that both brain and body can be exercised at the same time, and that is something that needs to be done. So who developed it? So it was developed by Paul and Gail Dennison from the US in 1960s, developed as a part of educational kinesiology, which is the study of body movement. So they are saying that movement of the body is very, very important. And these exercises are so simple. Okay, so these have been developed. They saw children with learning difficulties, and then they developed these exercises after 20 years of research. And they felt that these exercises are not only important for children, but these are important for people of any age. Okay, so that is why we see that people in around 80 countries are practicing brain gym exercises from different fields. So be it businessmen, be it sports people, actors. So, but you see a lot of students also doing it in schools. Okay, so how can it help older adults? So improves mobility and coordination, memory and concentration. It helps in learning new skills faster and easier, regulating moods if we are feeling depressed, anxious, okay? Enhancing cognition helps us to think better, improving our energy levels and overall physical and mental well-being. Okay, so should we do these exercises? Should I show you?
Yes, you can show us some exercises.
Yeah, so there are around 26, but we won't get the time to do 26.
No,
In
but
this,
teach us the first few 5.
yeah, first 4, 5, I think we'll definitely be able to cover. Okay, so the first, this is brain buttons. Okay, so this exercise helps the blood flow to the brain. Okay, and helps us to switch on the entire brain before an activity begins. Also helps in concentration. So how do we do brain buttons? So you take all the fingers, okay, and then you massage. Okay, so this is called the clavicular muscles, the pointed muscles which are there near the collar. It is called the collar bone. So generally where males wear the t-shirt. So these are called the collar bones or the clavicular muscles. So those need to be, these pointed muscles have to be massaged lightly. Okay. And when you are doing this, at the same time, you have to massage your belly also. Can you see? I am doing this at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, so brain buttons, can you see?
Yes.
This man is doing it. And these children are also doing it. Okay, so this is, okay. I'm massaging this part and my belly, and then you have to change hands. Okay, so again, I am massaging the belly with the other hand. Okay, so generally these brain gym exercises have to be done for 2 minutes. Each exercise has to be done for 2 minutes. Okay, so that is the very first exercise, brain buttons. Okay, the next exercise helps in coordinating right and left brain by exercising information flow between the two hemispheres. And there are very few exercises, which help in coordinating the right and left hemispheres of the brain. Okay, so cross crawl. How do you do it? You basically try and join the elbow to the knee, but it is cross. That is why you have to take the right elbow, left knee, left elbow, right knee. And you can do this in a sitting position also. You can do this in a standing position or you can do it in a sitting position. बैठ के भी कर सकते हैं. आ रहा है समझ में?
Yes,
Okay,
miss.
so, हाँ, so ये हो गया क्रॉस क्रॉल. इसको बोलते हैं क्रॉस क्रॉल. राइट और लेफ्ट ब्रेन हेमिस्फीयर्स को कोऑर्डिनेट करने के लिए ये काम में आता है. एंड जनरली हम लोगों ने देखा है, बिकॉज वी हैव बीन डूइंग दिस फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, you generally see these whatever benefits of doing these exercises if you do it at least for 4 to 5 months. और बहुत सारे जो एसोसिएशंस हैं वहां पे हम लोगों ने देखा है कि लोग कॉन्स्टेंटली अलोंग विद द अदर एक्सरसाइजेस दैट दे डू, और उनको काफी इससे अच्छा लगा है, फायदा हुआ है, उनको लगता है वो ज्यादा मेंटली एक्टिव हुए हैं. ओके, हुकअप्स. ओके, सो वर्क्स वेरी वेल फॉर द नर्व्स. अगर मुझे, if I am feeling fearful of something, if I am feeling scared, then this exercise actually helps. और ये मैंने भी खुद यूज किया है और बहुत अच्छा लगता है. अगर डर लगता है, एंजाइटी होती है, तो टू काम द माइंड, ओके, इट इज वेरी वेरी यूजफुल. अभी इसमें क्या करना है कि आपको दोनों हाथ, यू हैव टू टेक इन द फ्रंट. टेक बोथ योर हैंड्स इन द फ्रंट. एंटेंगल योर हैंड्स एंड ऑल्सो योर फिंगर्स. और वो दोनों हाथों को साथ में लाना है एंड यू हैव टू गेट देम क्लोज टू योर चेस्ट, क्लोज टू योर चेस्ट. अभी यही करते वक्त आपको आपके पैर जो हैं, दोज हैव टू बी, योर लेग्स हैव टू बी क्रॉस लेग्ड. क्रॉस जैसे कृष्ण भगवान करते हैं ना, जब भी बांसुरी बजाते हैं, तो हाँ, तो वो हिसाब से लेग्स को क्रॉस करना है. ओके, ऐसे लिया मैंने, ऐसे किया और लेग्स को क्रॉस किया, एंड देन यू क्लोज योर आईज एंड कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन योर ब्रेथ. नो हेवी ब्रीदिंग फॉर 2 minutes. So we'll do that. Cross your legs, get your hands close to your chest, close your eyes and concentrate on your breathing. ओके, सो ये करीब 2 मिनट तक करना है. आप करके देखिए आपको कैसा लगता है, आप बोलिए नेक्स्ट टाइम. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड हुकअप्स. ओके, दिस इज द थर्ड एक्सरसाइज विच इज कॉल्ड हुकअप्स. अभी चौथी जो एक्सरसाइज है उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं नेम्स इन द एयर. ओके, सो व्हाट डू वी हैव टू डू? वी हैव टू टर्न अ लिटिल बिट ऑन द साइड. ओके, एंड यू हैव टू टेक, see, if I am using the right hand, I have to turn a little bit to the left. And names in the air is, I have to write my first name in the air. Likha, I wrote my first name in the air. Okay, then what you have, हाँ लिखा. उसके बाद आपको वही नाम जो है, आपको जैसे भी होता है उल्टा लिखना है. Okay, you have to come reverse. Okay, and write your name reverse. However you can write it. Okay, so you write your name in reverse, and these exercises are important. Generally, research says that you can use these exercises for writing things which are important to you. Okay, अगर आपको कोई information आपको अगर ध्यान में रखनी है, certain important points, if you write in the air, then the possibility that you can remember that information is more. Okay, तो मुझे जो चीजें important लगती हैं, if I write that, then I will be able to remember it in a, yes, madam, you have to do it with both hands. आशा मैडम जो कर रही हैं, that is correct. Okay, तो दोनों हाथ से, पर थोड़ा सा दोनों हाथ से भी आप कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो राइट इन द एयर. एंड जनरली हम लोग ये जो मेमोरी लॉस का जो प्रॉब्लम होता है ओल्ड एज में, तो ऐसी चीजें अगर हम लोग करते हैं तो जनरली वी आर एडिंग आवर मेमोरी टू रिमेम्बर थिंग्स इन अ बेटर वे. So these exercises are very, very important. Okay, हम लोग एक, we had gone to an association where this person, you know, regularly now writes whatever things he has to get from the market, he writes in the air. So he doesn't have to make a note of those things. He just writes them twice and then he is able to remember what he has to get from the market. So you can use it for anything. Okay, so names in the air is very, very important for aiding our memory. Okay, so this is names in the air. So what did I do? Turn a little bit. Okay, और मेरे को cross मतलब if I am using my right hand, I write my name on the left hand side by tilting on the left hand side. Okay, और फिर बाद में मुझे ये साइड में लिखना है, the same thing. Okay, so what the आपका जो नॉन डोमिनेंट हैंड होगा तो वो थोड़ा सा लिखने में थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम आता है, but you do that. Okay, and you can do it with both the hands also, as Madam Asha was doing. Okay, so you can do that as well. Okay, so names in the air, name in the air. Okay, the other, this is called lazy 8. Okay, तो ये 8 लिया है क्योंकि उसमें twists and turns काफी होते हैं. So what do you have to do? This is more or less similar to names in the air, where you have to again tilt and you have to write 8, the number 8 in English, which is there in a sleeping position. क्या है? Sleeping position में है. So what did I do? Turn and I wrote 8 in a sleeping position. It is not straight, it is there in a sleeping position, and that is why this...
Like sleeping Buddha, like sleeping Buddha.
Sleeping Buddha,
Like
yes.
Sleeping.
Yes. But 8 number, हाँ, on the side, थोड़ा सा cross होके आपको 8 लिखना है. Thrice you have to do. Okay, so ये हो गया lazy 8. और ये lazy 8 में थोड़े बहुत variations हैं, which I will tell you quickly. Okay, so lazy 8 में सबसे पहले आप लोगों ने 8 लिखा, that is the first variation. दूसरा आपको क्या करना है? You have to see the tip of the finger. Okay, ये जो finger है, the second finger, वो आपको, you have to see the tip of the finger and you have to observe the tip of the finger while writing the number 8. So the same way, but you have to concentrate on the tip of your finger. Now तीसरा जो हम लोग योगा में त्राटक एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, so what do we do? Take the thumb and again concentrate on the tip of your thumb and then you draw the number 8 by observing the tip of your finger. Okay, so there are 3 ways in which to do this exercise, lazy 8. पहले हम लोगों ने ऐसे ही 8 लिखा. The second thing what we did was we tried to concentrate on the tip of the finger. The third is the tip of the thumb. Okay, so that is the third way. So ये हो गया lazy 8. Okay, so I'll quickly do this. ये रूबा डब जो है उसमें हम लोगों को क्या करना है कि you have to tap your head lightly and you have to again, जैसे हम लोगों ने first exercise में किया brain buttons, you have to again massage your belly lightly. Both have to be done at the same time. Sometimes that becomes a little bit difficult initially. Okay, so this activity also connects left and the right brain. And they have also said that if something is occupying me, if I'm thinking about the same thing repeatedly, okay, it helps us in getting distracted, okay, in keeping our mind off that particular thing. Okay, so यही दूसरा हम लोगों को हाथ लेके हम लोगों को we have to do this. This is called Ruba Dub. Okay, so swap your hands and do it with both your hands. So ये हो गया Ruba Dub. Then the last exercise which I'll take is alphabet edit. There are more exercises which we can do in the next sessions. Alphabet edit में हम लोगों को क्या करना है कि अगर L बोलते हैं तो you have to take the left hand up. R बोलते हैं तो right hand up. T बोलते हैं तो both the hands up. L R T L R T L R T L R T. Okay, so and if you say any other alphabet, then you don't have to do anything. So this basically also requires us to be alert and concentrate on what the other person is saying. Okay, so ye generally, if we want to keep our cognitive abilities intact, then something has to be done to X. That is why these breaks are important. So L, R, and T. Okay, so next time we can practice. So L, R, T. If I say Z, you don't have to do anything. But for that, you have to understand, you have to listen, and you have to concentrate on what I'm saying. So we'll quickly do L, R, T. And I'll say thoda sa quickly. You have to concentrate on what I'm saying. L, R, T. And beach me, I'll say other alphabets also. You have to see, you have to hear what I'm saying. Okay, so मैं बोल रही हूँ not very fast. Okay, so L. Please raise your left hand. L. Okay, R. R, R, right hand. T. हाँ, okay. B. B, B कुछ नहीं करना है. Okay, B. A. S. R. R. R फटाफट. R. T. 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 T में क्या करना है? दोनों हाथ. Very good. S. 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 You have to get down your hands. S. Okay. A. P. R. 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 Correct. R. R. Razia ji. R. Yes. Correct. Okay. T. 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 दोनों हाथ. Okay. So very good. Okay. So as I said, Brain Gym has around 26 exercises. Today we have covered, I think, around 7. So we'll do the other exercises in the next sessions. But thank you very much for listening to me. Okay, and we'll cover aspects related to dementia, cognitive impairment, warning signs in the next sessions. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Again,
Thank
it's
you,
very
thank you,
nice.
miss.
We
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
Thank you.
Come again.
Very nice.
Yes, I will, surely.
Thank you. Again, please.